guys remember him last year. Mike, come on up. Mike Goodwin. He is the sharpest dresser. My wife says I should call him when I go clothes shopping. He can give me some advice. Now, you should see his wife. She's the prettier half, or 3/4. I'm giving him too much credit. Anyway, Mike, love you, buddy. Glad you're here.
Praise God. Oh, you good, Bishop, man. Y'all give it up for Bishop again for that awesome word. Y'all, let's give God a shout of praise. Let's just give God, hallelujah. 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 Man, I'm so excited to be here. Let's give it up for Bob and the leadership team, everybody that's... I'm like, nobody been concerned about anything back there for 40 years. What are you doing? My insurance don't cover back there. You need to come up to the, you need to come to the front. Don't cover back there. I was in the dad's program session today, and it really, convicted me and ministered to me. Because I got 2 children. I have a daughter, and then now I got my son. I got my boy. But I feel like my daughter set us up. Because my daughter, she's polite, mannered. As soon as his feet hit the floor, he in the room like, I'm like, am I raising Busta Rhymes in my house? I mean, little boy go to the bathroom, it's da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, you don't sit down, man, with all this? And y'all, it took the boy a little while to talk. I was concerned about him for a little bit because my daughter, she was very quick, precocious. My son, he don't even know which foot to put his shoes on. I'm like, what's wrong with you, boy? But it took him a little while to talk, and he used to scat for a long, long time. This is how my son would sound walking around. Skeet out, bop, bop, boo, bop, beady, boo, bop, dop, dop, boo, dee, dop, 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 dee, dee. We didn't know it at the time, but my daughter had the ability to interpret his tongues. So my son run around to my skeet out, bop, boo, bop, dop, dee, dee, boo, dop, dop. My daughter's like, Mama, Michael wants some grapes. I'm like, how in the world do you know that skeet out not mean grapes? Y'all was in there watching the game the other night. He got to scatting again. Skeet out, bop, boo, bop, bop, dee dee, boop, dop, 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 dee dee. My daughter's like, Daddy, Michael want to watch Law and Order. Special Victims Unit. I'm like, get your little behinds. in the bed. As a matter of fact, tell your brother this right here. Skeeto! She was like, Daddy said get in the bed before he get his belt. That's what Daddy said. Y'all, my son loves animals. He loves animals. He says the word animal now very clearly. He says animal as if he worked at Moe's Southwest Grill. My son see animal, that's exactly what he does. Daddy! Animal! Animal, Daddy! And he must have learned Old McDonald at school, because every time he says the name of the animal, he got to make the noise that the animal makes. So we in the neighborhood, my son just had an outburst. Daddy! Animal! Animal, Daddy dog! Oof, oof. Animal! I'm like, boy, I can't wait to take you to the zoo. Y'all, and this little dude, I mean, he already tested me. He already pushing me to the limits. I got a text from my wife the other day. My son was misbehaving. He was out at the store being mannish. So she texted me. She said, you need to talk to your son. I'm like, oh, it's my son now. It was our son when you went to the store. Now it's my son. Well, apparently they out shopping. My son grabbed this woman on her backside. So I got the text. I was like, yeah. I was like, no, that's not good. So my wife was like, you need to have a conversation with me. And I said, well, first, you need to send me a picture of the lady so I can have all the information. I don't know what he was up against. He probably ain't never seen nothing like that before in his life. So I had to talk to my son. I said, hey, son, I said, boy, you can't, what are you doing? You can't go out here and do this. I said, why would you do something like that? He said, she smiled at me. I said, son, that's not how that works. That's not how. It's a smile to smile ratio. That's what you exchange when a smile. And you know, when something like that happens, people typically say he learned that type of behavior from his father. And he did, but not the way y'all thinking, not the way y'all thinking. I just grabbed my wife. That's all I grabbed. Because really, you learn things by two ways. Either you're taught or it's caught. Yeah, he caught that right there. He caught me doing that. And I don't know if y'all noticed, they don't make deodorant for little kids. But little kids need deodorants. Because you send them to school, they run around, they sweat, and they come back home and they smell like animal. Animal under my arm, Daddy. Y'all, and I don't think kids recognize how good they have it anyway. Y'all, my children are doing stuff as kids that I didn't do until I was a grown man. We go out of town, my kids stay in a hotel in a bed by themselves. I ain't stay in no hotel when I was a kid. We stayed at a relative's house. And I slept in the bed with 4 other little kids. And I would pray every night, please, Lord, don't let nobody wet this bed. But that prayer would fall on deaf ears every time. Y'all, my kids got luxuries. My kids go to daycare. I didn't go no daycare. My grandma kept me. And all day, it seemed that she didn't care to have me at her house. Because days at my grandmother's house consisted of beanie-weenie lunches and marathon naps. And the reason I say marathon naps, because my nap time corresponded when it was time for her to watch her stories. Yo, when them stories came on, my grandma was like, lay down and go to sleep. Lay down and go to sleep. Y'all had to sleep from the beginning of Days of Our Lives to Santa Barbara went off. I'm like, that's 3 hours, Grandma. I want to go outside and play with my friends. She was like, lay down and go to sleep. So y'all, here I am, 4 years old, learning how to be deceptive. I'm laying on the couch, eyes wide open, fake sleeping. My grandma like, boy, you sleep? I'm like, yes, ma'am. go to sleep. And y'all, the most terrifying thing for me was for my grandmother to put me in her bed. Because she would tuck me in there so tight. Then she would lay this 400-pound comforter on my chest. I was like, I can't feel my toes, Grandma. I can't breathe, Grandma. And if I was able to muster up the strength to get that comforter off me, I still was stuck because the drop from the bed to the floor was like jumping on an airplane. Like, Grandma, I need that box so I don't break my neck to get out of the bed, Grandma. And my grandma was a very godly woman. And she told me this advice. Now, we know as believers there's nothing that we should worry about. But my grandma told me there's two things that you worry about. Whether you're healthy or whether you're sick. If you're healthy, you ain't got nothing to worry about. If you're sick, you got two things to worry about. Whether you're going to get better, whether you're going to get worse. You get better, you ain't got nothing to worry about. You get worse, you got two things to worry about. Whether you're going to live or whether you're going to die. You live, you ain't got nothing to worry about. You die, you got two things to worry about. Whether you're going to heaven or whether you're going to hell. You go to heaven, you ain't got nothing to worry about. You go to hell, you got two things to worry about. Original or extra crispy. That's Now, don't go out there and mess up the joke. You be like, I think you got three things to worry about. No, you're doing the joke wrong. You messing up the joke. Hey, make some noise. You got crazy family members. If you got crazy family members, make some. Yeah. Now, if you're not making noise, you probably are the crazy family member. Y'all, I got a cousin. She is a drama queen. The whole world is her stage. We were out to dinner the other night, and the server did something. My cousin at the table going off. When he gets back, I'm going to give him a piece of my mind. I was like, wait a minute. You can't afford to give nobody a piece of your mind. Matter of fact, you need to go get all the pieces you done gave out. Bring those together like Humpty Dumpty. That's what you need to do. Yo, we were playing a surprise birthday party for my aunt. My cousin used this expression I thought was a little odd. She said, I hope y'all don't let the cat out the bag. That's an odd expression for me because if I saw somebody holding a bag full of cats, the first thing I would think to say is, hey, man, you need to let those cats out the bag. But y'all, why are we so obsessed with cats anyway? Huh? Cat got your tongue? Look what the cat drug in. It's raining cats and dogs. What up, cat daddy? You living like a fat cat. Don't be a copycat. You are such a scary cat. It's more than one way. Who is skinning cats? I guess the dude with the bag full of cats, huh? And why do they have multiple ways of doing this? And I guess you got to find curiosity. Curiosity helps you kill the cat. Then you can skin the cat once you let the cat out the bag. When I get back to the house, I'm going to take a little cat nap. That's what I'm going to do. Y'all, I used to work in education before I started doing comedy full time. And I don't know if y'all know, but it's a lot of young teachers in the classroom nowadays. A lot of older teachers have retired. Now they got these young girls in the classroom. They're attractive. They smell good. Smell like strawberries and bananas. My teeth didn't smell like no strawberries. My teeth smell like cigarette smoking mothballs. And they used to love to stand over you. Forgot to carry the 3. Forgot to carry the 3. I used to be like, Miss Jones, what you not gonna do? Stand over me, smell like Vicks Vapor Rub and ashes. That's what. Y'all get older, but I love to use slang terms. One of my favorite slang terms is my bad. Always saying my bad. But there's some people you don't want to hear my bad from. Like you don't want to be sitting in your barber's chair. Your barber cutting your hair. Hey, you seen the game last night? That's my bad. No, that's my head. You don't want to be in your dentist chair. Dentist in your mouth. Could you open wide, please? That's my bad. And see, I understand my dentist. My dentist tells me to raise one of my hands if I'm experiencing some discomfort. I'm like, Doc, if you was paying attention, that tear that just ran out the side of my eye is a clear illustration that I'm experiencing some discomfort. He talking about, that's my bad. You know, one thing, in some of these meetings, you start reflecting on your childhood. You know, I was thinking about my childhood life. And I was really embarrassed as a child because we had roaches bad when I was growing up. Oh, y'all just gonna sit out there and act like I'm the only one in this room? They had roaches in this house, huh? What you're not gonna do is sit out there and act like nobody in here had no roaches. Y'all out there like, roaches? Who had roaches? That is pretty nasty. Some of y'all got roaches now out there looking at me like that. Brother looking at his bag, talking about, don't you come up out of there and embarrass me. And this men's conference tonight. Y'all, we had roaches so bad, I asked my mom, we raising roaches. Like, Mama, is this a roach farm? What is all these roaches doing here? And my mother hates when I do that joke because she's like, say we didn't have roaches as bad as the folks next door. And she was right. But what do people with roaches say when you come over to their house? Do you want something to eat? I used to be like, no, I'm straight. I ate yesterday. Like, what you're not going to do is give me none of this roach-infested food. That's what. Yo, I asked that at a show one time. Somebody yelled out, excuse the roaches. I'm like, nah, you ain't never been to anybody's house with roaches. Y'all, they'll sit up in there and act like they ain't got no roaches. Y'all be watching TV, a roach will crawl across the screen. They'll say something like, oh, I didn't know the weather was supposed to be so nasty today. The weather? You ain't gonna say nothing about this nasty house. Like, what you're not gonna do is sit up here and act like you don't see that roach on your TV doing the nay-nay. That's just my neighborhood. Every time I fly, some random strange thing always seems to happen. Every time I fly. I was going to Indianapolis about 2 weeks ago. We were connecting from Washington, Dulles, going into Indianapolis. And I saw this woman. It was my wife. My wife was traveling with me. And it was standing in line. It was me, my wife, and it's just random black dude. It's just random. We just happened to be standing in threes, just randomly. So we saw this woman. She walked by. And it was a white woman. But I saw her. I said, man, that woman drunk. I knew she was drunk because I could tell when somebody drunk because I've been drunk a time or two in my So we made eye contact, and I was like, oh, it's about to go down. So I'm standing there, my wife, and she turns around. She looks. She said, oh, my goodness. Y'all are so beautiful. She was like, is this your family? And the other black dude was like, man, I don't know these people, man. I'm just standing here, lady. So she was like, can I take a picture of y'all? I was like, this is going to be hilarious. So I'm telling my wife, I'm like, she drunk. I just want you to know she's drunk. She was like, how you know she's drunk? I said, she's going to show you in a second. So she took a picture. She took a couple of pictures. She came to me first, and this was exactly when I knew she was drunk. She looked at me, and she said, oh, my goodness, you are gorgeous. I'm a decent-looking dude. I'm not gorgeous. You drunk, ma'am. That's what's going on. You are inebriated, ma'am. That's what's happening. Because even my wife was like, gorgeous? Really? Gorgeous? Like she wasn't offended or nothing. They're like, gorgeous? So then we boarded, and we were in almost first class. I was the seat right behind first class. But they didn't have a divider. So I'm sitting here looking at all the first class activity going on, and I started feeling some kind of way. I started thinking, maybe if I would have worked a little bit harder, I could have been in first class. It's just one seat in front of me. I need to pick it up. So I'm sitting there looking, and, they just were so pleasant, and the woman had this basket full of snacks and fruit, and she was giving it to this guy, and he just wanted to get one or two. She's like, no, get as many as you like. And I'm just sitting there, mouth watering. Like, I want some fruit. I really wish I could have some fruit. As I'm eating my trail mix that they gave me in this little kindergarten-sized bag, I'm like, man, what I'm not going to do, I'm like, please move me further back, because I can't look at all this first-class activity and not partake in any of this that's going on. But, yeah, we enjoyed that trip, because my wife didn't get to travel with me that often. And, one thing, my wife is hilarious. She's a very funny woman, and she's always posting stuff on Facebook about my son. And one thing I've noticed about Facebook has gotten pretty crazy, pretty negative, right? People get on Facebook and they tell all their business. Then they get back on Facebook and say, y'all need to stay out of my business. I'm like, you just posted it 13 minutes ago. What are you talking about? Y'all got grown men on there poking me. Don't poke me. Keep your cyber fingers to yourself. That's all. Y'all, and some people don't even know what to say on Facebook. I'm on there the other night. This woman on there bragging about her son. She said, my son scored a 1460 on the SAT. He can go to any school in the country that he wants. I was like, no, ma'am. They've changed the SAT since you've been in school. Y'all, they done added a whole nother 800 points to the SAT. Like, ma'am, your son got about the equivalent of a D on the SAT right now. You might want to log off the computer, go in the room and help your son with some of his homework. That's probably better use of your time, man. Shout out to any veterans in the house. We got veterans. Round of applause to the veterans. I went into the military after high school, and I appreciate the Army because the Army paid for me to go to college. And college brought some reality to my life because when I was a little boy, people told me that I could be a doctor. I couldn't have been a doctor. I wasn't good at science or math or English. I just wasn't a good student overall. But if I had to become a doctor, I would have to be an MB for my bad. I see it now. Dr. Goodwin, you prescribed the wrong medication to 25 patients. My bad. Dr. Goodwin, you removed a perfectly good kidney. My bad. Dr. Goodwin, our baby looks like a gremlin. Oh, no, that's your bad. What you're not going to do is blame me for your bad DNA. That's what you're not going to do. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Y'all enjoying yourselves this afternoon, y'all? Go ahead and wrap up. I don't know if y'all noticed this, but customer service has gotten horrible. Customer service is terrible. Went to Wendy's the other day. I pulled up to the drive-thru. The little girl on the intercom had the most pleasant voice. She was like, welcome to Wendy's. Would you be interested in a combo special? I was like, no, can I get the nuggets? She was like, oh, yes, you can. Would you want a drink or a dessert to go with that? I said, no, let me get the double stack. She said, would that be all for you? I said, yes. She said, the total is $433. Pull on around to the window so I can take good care of you. I'm like, this is a little extra right here. I pulled around to the window. It's a dude. I'm like, what you're not going to do is talk to me with no bass in your voice, bro. Hey, thank y'all so much. God bless.